And we're good.
There we go.
I literally was like, oh no, like not before this one. Yeah, a bit fast coming down.
It's quite chunky, doesn't it? Like you've got a weird like antenna and everything.
Well,
No, I meant this one.
Lips on that one is, but on that one it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so
I
much of
think we
glass.
need to go. We'll go with it.
we should
We're not
say.
professionals.
Is
It's
it
been on for the
recording?
last 5 minutes.
Oh, is it?
Okay. Hi and welcome to the Target Transfers podcast, podcast for everything you need to know about heat printing. We are Target Transfers, the leading supplier of custom heat transfers, heat transfer vinyl and heat presses. My name's Andy, I'm the marketing manager here and I'm joined by Molly. Thanks for joining us, Molly.
Hello.
We're also joined by Darren Sedge from Squeezed Orange today. Darren and Squeezed Orange are one of the leading garment decorators from Essex in the UK. They specialise in screen printing, heat printing and embroidery. And they predominantly create premium clothing brands and workwear and promotional clothing, along with their own brand, Squeezed Orange. So thank you very much for...
prepared by Darren.
Yeah. So Darren is the owner and co-founder and also former British Championship jet skier. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Picking up you on the intro there, Darren.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for joining us. We're going to just jump straight into it, really. How did you get started garment decorating?
Oh, well, this goes back a long way.
That's okay, we've got time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we start from the start then. So yeah, from the intro, I was a professional freestyle jet skier for most of my teens, early 20s, and then during that time, I wanted my own like set jet ski hoodies made.
Yeah.
So I actually went away, ordered them from somewhere else, just online, ordered them, got them in. They were great. More people sort of wanted to buy them to support like the jet ski career.
What did the first hoodies you get look like?
They were, I still remember them. So they were Fruit of the Loom hoodies with just vinyl printed front and back, which was good. At the time when I received them, knowing nothing about garments or anything, like they were the best thing ever. Opened the box, I got your name on the hoodie. It was amazing. So yeah, from that and a few friends wanting them just to support the jet skiing, I decided to create my own brand. Completely just like create a brand, sell it alongside like an action sports brand to like supplement what I was doing. And my brother came up with a name Against the World because we thought it fitted with like the jet skiing and competitions and blah blah blah. And then the big leap was I started looking into how to actually print garments myself, just sort of like me being me. I just thought, oh, I'll dive into it, YouTube videos, internet, blah, blah, blah. And ended up buying a Chinese heat press and vinyl cutter and started from there really. So I always remember the first cut I ever done, I didn't reverse it. I couldn't work out, and that still sticks with me. So I was like, oh, you have to reverse it. So this was it. Like it was really just micro failing every single step of the way. Like from getting it, not reversing it, holding it up to the garment, going like, what? Like, how do we do this? So I think YouTube was about then, but it wasn't sort of as popular as it is now. There definitely wasn't podcasts or anything like that. So it was a little bit harder to learn, but we got there. And then in the end, it just rolled on from that. So it was just like that brand. So we then like fast forward a few years, that brand had kind of taken off. We had upgraded the heat presses to like the auto open, like clown presses. Like we actually got that one through you, I believe.
How far into your business did you switch from your Chinese press to one of ours? Quite
quickly, because you and this isn't like not being like paid to say this, or like, but it's a real world thing. The Chinese heat press, I believe I say caught fire, but it definitely had an electrical fault, tripped out, nearly blew up the house, etc. And I was like, okay, we need to change. Yeah, and even before that, it was struggling to heat. You know, now I know what I know now. I know that wasn't heating like the plate equally and things like that. Some of the vinyl was stuck, some of it wasn't, etc. So obviously you only learn that as you then upgrade your equipment and go, oh wait a minute, now I figure out what's going on here. So yeah, fairly quickly we upgraded. And then as that business, as ATW, the brand rolled on. So sort of over the years, it got bigger. We started the online store, etc. I then started to outsource to China.
Mm-hmm.
So we started making the paper templates, finding factories in China, making things from scratch, and we completely moved everything over there. And then I was just focused on the jet skiing and the marketing side of that business. And then as sort of that then grew and sort of took us to the next level, we were sort of importing half containers and containers of tracksuits and things like that. I then bought an embroidery machine to run samples of beanies and things like that in-house, just more of our sampling. And that was just a brother, like PR650 that we sort of found on eBay, etc. Like real good machines, like we recently only stopped using them, but yes, we got that, and then that got me into embroidery. And then it sort of like fast forward a couple more years, ATW had, I say really taken off, but it was gaining traction, approaching on probably 100,000 followers on Facebook and things like that. And then we were working with YouTubers, like, the early influencers.
Yeah.
So I was sort of giving clothes to influencers, they were wearing it, it was obviously circling around, boosting sales, etc. So we were sort of like first in the influencer market with that brand.
Is it still mostly jet skis at that point, or have you kind of
No, so yeah, it was a little bit of jet skiing, but mainly like the automotive scene, because I was quite into the car scene and car YouTube channels and things like that. So yeah, it was mainly like automotive YouTubers, because they were sort of like the biggest guys at the time. And it happened to be one or two of my friends, or like sort of one of my friends was a big YouTuber, and he wanted his own stuff made and knew obviously I was into the garment thing. I wasn't printing for anyone at this point. We were only doing sort of like a little bit of heat transfer and a little bit of embroidery just for our own samples before we shipped it off to China and got it all made. He was like, wanted me to print, Adam wanted me to print, and I kept, no, not printing. In the end, I run in one or two hoodies, just heat transfer hoodies with his logo, etc. He loved them. Announced them on his YouTube channel. That went booming. Before we know it, we're printing hoodies for a YouTuber. And that was when we really sort of started, I say printing volume. What we thought was volume at the time, printing 50, 60 hoodies or whatever. We were like, wow, like, we're going now.
Your brand, that's
yeah. So this is it. This is literally our first time ever dealing with, and sort of someone placing an order through us rather than just our own brand. And then that's where the Squeezed Orange name came from, because it was literally like from the moment we was going to send him that invoice for these hoodies, it was like, I want to do it for ATW because that's like my brand. Yeah. That's just like the Squeezed Orange name just got plucked out of the air, and we're then Squeezed Orange Print Shop.
I think quite a lot of people do that though. They have like their passion project on one side and then have another business that they run and like make profit from to fund the other one. Like they do it the other way around. They plan for the passion project to be the one they have to work towards, whereas for you it happened back to front almost. Yeah, we were sort of like, and still in my mind, like my 100% focus was my brand.
Yeah.
I was so into my brand, it was like that was my energy, that was where all my energy went, was into my brand. And like, the printing on the side was just printing on the side. We were just doing it because we could. Yeah. And we was always pushing for the quality then. That's why he wanted us to print. And then, so as that went on, we done a few drops with him, a few like limited sales for his YouTube channel, and then his friend wanted stuff done, and it goes, it just stepping stones on, and suddenly you're printing for 10, 15, 20 YouTubers. And then that was when it was serious. That was it. We were then upgrading machines and then ultimately got into screen printing and what we're doing now, which is sort of like bulk, real sort of bulk manufacturing and embroidery and screen printing and things like that. But it all started with a heat press and a vinyl cutter.
I don't think it can be underestimated just how powerful word of mouth still is in this industry, really. So many of our customers have grown by that relationship they build, the high quality product they produce for someone. It's so key. It's the ultimate business card, really. Yeah, I mean,
right now we don't run any adverts at all for Squeezed Orange. I never have run a Facebook advert, never run Instagram, nothing. So never pay for advertising. The only thing we do is just produce what we produce.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, that hopefully speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Just share that on your organic and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then obviously, like social media comes into it with like, you know, with the content, etc. Putting the content out and the videos and things like that. So we sort of get seen that way. But even then, we never. Always said when I started it, I never want to grow it like ATW. You know, I'm not bothered about having 1 million followers or 100,000 followers or whatever. That doesn't matter to me. To me, it's what we're printing.
You're better off having 3,000, 30,000 followers with 10% actually buy from you than you are having 1 million with no sales.
Yeah, and having good, you know, I like the customers we work with right now. I think we're in a really good spot. We get some good prints.
Yeah, I mean, and having been to your manufacturing facility in Essex, I mean, we won't say which brands yet, but there's some of the brands that you were printing when we visited you last. There's some very nice companies in there, that anyone would be sort of very proud to be doing their work for.
Would mind being in business with one of those.
Yeah. So no, we're lucky. Yeah, but we've always just focused on that. Just comes from a focus of quality.
Yeah. We
don't sell anything in that regard. You know what I mean? We're not salespeople. We're just screen printers, and we just do our work, and that's it. We are very picky and choosy. So if anyone does contact us, this isn't a stamp of somebody's brands, but we won't print on Gildan's personal reference.
Yeah,
we don't. You know, I know loads of people do it. I know Gildan's huge, love them, but not for us. We use, I don't want to say better stuff, but we do use softer materials which make the print look better. You know, it's not all us, it is on your garment choice as well, your garment selection. And obviously it's what our customers want. A lot of it is the oversized stuff. What I say, the more premium stuff, you know, we are printing for brands that have a higher retail market. You know, everything we do has to be folded and bagged, labelled, to a finished spec, not just folded and put in a box.
And I think that's good advice. We have quite a few sort of streetwear brands that come through on our masterclass and our training sessions here, and the actual difference between a kind of the entry level t-shirts and hoodies versus the ones you're using, the actual price difference is not that much between them compared to what the actual RRP would be ultimately.
Yeah, what you can sell them for if you make that slight upgrade.
It's what it all comes back to ATW, because I've been there with a brand, albeit I'm not saying it was the biggest brand in the world, but because I've been there on the front line with a brand, you constantly your brand focus, pushing quality. I've still got that element of I will put a little bit of input in with our customers and be like, look, if we were doing this, we'd actually use this hoodie, etc. You know, we've kind of been there and done it.
But
over the last 10 years.
And the experience, and that's what they're coming to you for. They know that they're going to get the best quality product from that. Yeah. Not just, they look quite good on Instagram, have one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's always the case, we get hit a little, I don't know, no, it hasn't really happened, maybe once or twice, but they see one of our prints on Instagram. And then, this comes down to our garment selection. So this is where we sort of went solid on we won't print on some stuff, we will print on others, because they come to us, see the prints on Instagram, place the order, but they want a lower spec, blank. We do the print, it's still a good print, you know, it's sort of still us, it's still our print, we haven't bodged anything, it's still good, but they're going, it doesn't look as smooth, it doesn't, look as sharp. I'm
but
the garment's not, and then that was right, we're just not doing it, because we're putting this advert out there of look what we're doing.
And then when it arrives,
and then they want the cheap stuff. You're but the stuff on Instagram is obviously our highlight reel. They're the most expensive garments and the best prints that we're doing. Not saying everything else is crap, but it's just upholding that expectation. Now when people come to us, it really is sort of, I hate saying wanting to be the best, but we just want to put the best out, or the best that we can do out. And
but that comes back to what we were talking about on our previous podcast about authenticity, and people can see that, like you say, you're not pushing ads, you don't need to. People know that you produce high quality products and you know what you're doing. You've got the expertise, you've got the experience, and that's what shines through on everything you do, rather than bigger brands that might necessarily say push adverts to make sales, and it's not their true at heart passion. It's just something they're just doing to make sales.
Yeah,
which is a big difference that people can see.
Yeah, you can push through. It's sort of two ways to print. You can push through quantity, you know, and you can be on the quantity side of things and want to do 10,000 garments a week or whatever, or you can scale it back and push for quality. You know, you sort of, can you have both? Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, if you're a really, really big shop, you know, and you've got a few autos going and some real good staff, then yeah, of course you can. But
you've got scale to get to that point.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not gonna come out the gate and be pushing quantity and quality.
Got to build to get there.
Yeah, sort of successfully. Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard balance because you need the work, but at the same time you always want the good work. And it's the best possible place to get is into a position where you can turn jobs down.
Yeah.
You know, you can pick and choose your jobs. We probably turn down 50% of jobs that come through. Not like even when I say that, it's like, oh, it makes me cringe a bit. But they're not right. They're not right for us. They might be better for DTG. They might be better for just something, or they're not. They're just not us. They're not for us. They might be another print shop that actually like that's their style. You know, they're doing the discharge stuff or whatever. Maybe go to them. We'll always try and help, but we'll also try and be honest. If it's not for us, it's not for us. Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna try and mess it up or not deliver. There's nothing worse than the customer not being happy. That's what hurts, I think.
Yeah, and I think as well as that, we've spoken a few times obviously, but you're very passionate about screen printing and the level of detail you put into that. So an important part of choosing to become a garment decorator is having the freedom to be passionate about what you do. And if a job comes through and you're not passionate about it, then it's just not the best option to do, because if your heart's not in it, then you're not going to. If you've got enough work coming in, you should pick orders that you're going to enjoy making, the brands that you can keep growing, and being a part of that journey with them as well.
Yeah, it's all down to skill set as well, because everything is a slightly different skill set. I mean, this comes from 10 years, 11, probably 12 years now printing. You sort of, say it's just a micro fail. I failed more jobs than.
You've got to do that to learn.
You have, that's the. I always say I never went to uni. Every failed job is my university tuition. That is it.
That's a good portfolio.
Yeah, so that's my uni fee. But we failed a lot. I failed a lot. So I keep saying we, because there's a couple of us in the team. But the early days it was just me, and we failed a lot. We learned a lot, and now I know what my skill set is. I know where I'm good. I know, if you come to me with that, we can do that. It will be good, and it will deliver.
There's so many elements to it as well. You can't be 100% on all of them.
And no job is the same. Every job comes in. It's always. It could be the simplest 3-colour job or whatever, and it will kick your ass. Yeah. Everyone will. Every job will. So there's that, and that's the fun part. For me, that's the fun part. That the problem solving. That's all you do is problem solving.
Yeah, I think that's key. And I've spoken to a few customers recently, mostly around vinyl printing, and it's learning to, like say, accepting you're going to make mistakes, being humble about it, and enjoying that process. And that's how you get great results. And anyone who follows you on Instagram can see some of the great product you're putting out there and the detail. There's so many people I speak to and say, "Okay, I tried that product, but it didn't work." So how many times did you try it? 3 times. It's like, okay, maybe put aside a couple of hours and really just get stuck into it.
How many times did it take you to figure out high build?
Yeah.
Too many.
Never even. So high build was a whole beast in itself. Yeah, that was. I didn't even know you needed a smart knife at the time.
Yeah.
So I should probably. There's a lot more resources out there. I should probably research a lot more. But I'm one of these that just jump in. I see it, I do it, and I'm around here picking up the high build vinyl or doing something. We've only half the story, and I go back and I'm like, oh, we cut it. Yeah, no, we probably wasted a lot of material learning to cut that. A lot of material. And then not only cutting it, when we started cutting it well, and then actually applying it to the garment, that's then a whole nother situation. And then it's learning as well, sort of, is it going on a hoodie? Is it going on a t-shirt? I mean, your heat presses are great now because we can change all the settings and have them all. And we've got them now on the hat press I just got from you guys. We now have all the settings for hoodie, t-shirt, hat, because we slightly changed the settings. We we always have done. We slightly change the temperature and things like that, and obviously the pressures. And that's just something we learn. Yeah, that's just something we learn from pressing hundreds of them, thousands of them probably. Yeah, we do a lot of them.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that have come over and asked how you do it so well, I build, because we do reshare a lot of your images. Because you take pictures of them a lot better than we do. And yeah, we always have people going, how do you do that? I'm like, you better go and speak to Darren.
Trial and error, yeah. But in reality, we haven't got any supersonic knife machines. We've just got Graphtec cutter, the smart knives from you.
Patience.
And patience.
Yeah, that's it. And just trial and error, just play around. We get a lot of DMs like, what cut settings you use? And I'll just take a photo of the machine and go, this is what we're using, but how lose your blade? You know, like how, you know, what's it? I don't know. You know, how many blades do we go through? Well, we've got 2 in rotation all the time, and we probably come here and get new ones. A couple of months, a month, 2 months. Yeah, we go through a lot of blades. You can see instantly when they start to blunt. Like we know straight away.
Does it jag the edge slightly so it's not a smoother cut?
Yeah, and they become harder to weed. Simply like you like from the moment you go to pull off like the main bulk of the vinyl, you can see it's slightly just like tugging or whatever. Yeah. So we know straight away that we change the blade. So we've got 2. We use 1. As soon as that starts to go, we replace it, and then we've always got 1. We've always got 1 spare.
But again, that's experience. Trial and error is just having a go, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no one setting that will fit everyone.
No.
Would you say that you sold yourself a little short with the jet skiing earlier? But one of the things.
I need to bring it back round.
One of the things when we were doing our homework on you, I didn't realise that as well as actually being a jet skier, you got into the actual manufacturing of elements of it as well.
Yeah.
Building your own custom.
Oh yeah, and the internet stalked you before you.
God, Google my name.
That must have been quite an education experience that perhaps helped you to get to this point with the screen printing.
I mean, it probably more like elaborate. Like I work with my hands.
Yeah,
that's it. And I've always been, like just one of them. Like, oh, what does that do? I'll take it apart. As a kid,
understand how it works.
Was probably a nightmare. You know, at the age of 14, I was stripping and rebuilding jet ski engines down to the crank, replacing the bearings, building them back up. You know, we got to a point where me and my dad could swap an engine out in probably 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No drama. Then we got to the point of like making the jet ski hulls because I was trying to backflip a jet ski.
Yeah.
And this is probably what instilled failure into me, and from a young age, because I failed, like literally landed on my head every time, over thousands of times. And then we started tweaking like the actual hull of the jet ski, like the actual boat. We started chopping the back to like round it up and things like that. Then as that evolved, we just got on to fully making our own jet skis. I went on a glass fibre course. And then just started fully manufacturing jet skis. We never actually sold it. Literally just manufactured them for myself, which sounds like a big sort of expensive project, but it's not when you get into it. It's cheaper than buying jet ski hulls, that's for sure. And then we sort of like custom made the length, cut the back of them and stuff like that. And eventually did backflip one. Like we did.
One of your ones that you'd manufactured.
Yeah. So at one point. There is another guy who I was on his team. He's making them now and is like doing fantastic stuff. But at the time, I was the only person to manufacture and build a jet ski hull in the UK, and then took it to the British Championship and backflipped it, which was like the elusive backflip for like the 900cc class. So I sort of done that, and then
you were the first UK skier to do it in the expert class competition as well.
In 900cc, yeah. There were others. They were doing it for a long time with the bigger engines and the raw power and things like that. I think Stone was doing it like years before me. Like he was smashing it, but he was always like in the league above me, shall we say? Yeah. I was in like the expert class, and I'd done backflip in that. Yeah.
Not a bad achievement.
A lot learning. Went over the bar, like the injuries and stuff involved, just out, sort of. Yeah, they were there. They were part of it.
What was the worst one?
It was I don't know. The worst accident I ever had was, it was actually after the backflip. I was trying like what we used to call like the flare roll, which is like an off-axis backflip, 360 backflip basically. And you're coming in blind on the side. I under-rotated. We was in London Docks at the end of City Airport, like right at the end of the airport. We were training there. And I started the jet ski, like we lost it. So yeah, in the end, after a lot of fighting, we sent a diver down and got it back. But I'm now banned from the docks, and like, still to this day. That was years ago, but yeah.
I was going to say, I wonder if it's
still to this day, I am technically banned from being on the water anywhere near the Thames or London Docks or anything like that. So yeah, they thought we were up to something dodgy at the end of the runway, but I was just trying to get a jet ski back that we lost. So, yeah, that was probably the worst one. But yeah, I've gone over the bars countless times, ripped the handle poles off, bent handlebars, broke levers, like everything, anything you can think. Like,
so you built them and broke them at the same time?
Oh, I broke them every day. At the time, I was riding them 7 days a week, every day. Like that was it. We were going out, breaking the ice, riding. That was it. That was.
You started off sort of in your early teens, didn't you, get into that?
Oh yeah, before the teens, I was. To be fair, my dad always had boats, so we was always water skiing and stuff from, I don't know, this is literally probably as long as I could stand up. I always remember my dad used to get water skis and get a rope and tie them together so your legs like sort of didn't just fly off, and then I used to water ski behind a boat, when I was literally probably 5 years old.
Strapped on.
So yeah, it was, and then as soon as I fell off, someone would jump in and like save me now. So yeah, I was always like me and water sports it's like me and walking, it's just like natural.
Yeah.
That was it. So it was like a natural thing of like, then we got a jet ski, and I remember, I think I must have been maybe 10, 11 when we was first playing about with jet skis, and then by 14, 15 it was professional, and then moving into late teens, early 20s was when we were really moving with it.
You're travelling all over for that, weren't you, as well?
Yeah, we're all over the country, America a few times. Yeah, luckily, no, there was no Instagram, there was no YouTube back then, because it would have made some great vlogs and some great content, but that stuff wasn't about. So all that is just whatever's documented out there now by other people.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because like you say, that would have been good to look back on for you as well, regardless of anything else, to have that memory.
I think my life would have been different though, because if you'd have built up YouTube and things like that, probably never would have got into printing or anything like that, never would have had a business, because you would have been a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Printing your own merch.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, so, interesting.
You mentioned about obviously being quite hands-on with the product, etc.
Yeah.
Is that one of the main reasons you decided to bring your printing back from China?
Yeah.
So you can have more control over it for yourself?
Yes. As our designs and our prints started to get more technical, I was never fully happy with the result we were getting. It wasn't bad. I'm not trying to knock anyone, but I wasn't knocking China. They were great. They could churn out the volume, that's for sure. But it come in and I was like, we could finish these garments ourselves.
Better quality,
yeah.
And then we had the stamp of finished in the UK, printed in the UK.
A lot of people have that sort of want that quality control. That's why they bring it back in house.
To the point where now it's almost gone full circle. Is maybe 50% of our work, maybe not that much, a little bit less, is brands that have gone to China or wherever, gone to a factory. Some of them are in the UK, but they've gone to these factories. They're manufacturing their own cut t-shirt, joggers and stuff. Then they send them to us, so they import them. They come straight to us, and then we then print them, finish them, and send them back out. So they're still, I guess, even they see the same thing we saw many years ago. And I think other print shops are doing that as well. It's not. I haven't got everyone in the UK, but I think that's just something that's going on. Maybe print shops in the UK take a bit more care or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we know from you some of your secret sauce that we won't go into detail on here, but there is little bits and pieces that you do with your garments that are above and beyond that other people won't know. Part of your kind of your trial and error process, trying to break things, it means that there's certain things that you do that other people won't think to do, and obviously you won't really want to share that with someone else doing it for you, because then they'll start offering that up to absolutely everyone as well.
Yeah, create your own competition. That's not ideal, is it?
No.
Yeah, there's tricks and tips in there of what we do, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, have you ever thought about having your own garments manufactured overseas or elsewhere, or do you think it's better to stick to your core skills?
I have a lot, but money, time, and then space. Ultimately, when you bring it in, you then need warehouse. It's a whole another beast, which I then just bring it back to simplicity of, let's just say printing. You know, how can we print more? How can we print faster?
Yeah.
And that's where we're at the moment. You know, it's staffing, trying to bring people in, more machines.
How many staff have you got at the moment too?
So there is myself, Steve, my dad now fully works for me, and then we've got Georgia as well. So she's great. She's like Saturday staff, should I say, or sort of part-time, like some of an apprenticeship, but yeah, still at school, comes in whenever she can, and she does a lot of the weeding for us. So we've literally got someone in, I say full-time, but she comes in and her job once, twice a week is literally weed like everything that we're printing, from like the key clips to the 3D rubber stuff and that. So
scale your business from my build then.
So yeah, there's a lot she's doing, because we use that high build is so popular for us.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. We're sort of cutting it for our principals as well now. Yeah. Which is strange.
That's mad, isn't it?
It's almost like your business, you know. I feel like
Oh no, we don't cut people's designs anymore.
No?
No, we don't have the
Don't know. I don't know why I do, but yeah, no. So we started cutting it for a few others. I guess it's just one of them things that rolled on. We thought, well, yeah, we can do it. I've sort of got the staff to do it. So we do it. Yeah. So that's when I really noticed it. It was quite a skill. I don't even know how we.
I think it comes back down to how we discussed about just taking the time to actually learn. There's so many people that are not willing to do that. So, like you say, it's once you've done it, get to a point where you're happy with it. It's just repeat.
And again, like knowing the limitations of it, like we are unbelievably strict. Like when you email and you go, oh yeah, I've got this 3D rubber, high build, you're like, can't be done. Letters are too small. You've got to know the limitations of the media that you're working with.
Yeah.
And we have to tell people. We have to just go, look, we can't do that, but if you delete the small text, do this, maybe make it slightly thicker, then thin lines that sort of go off into nothing, not going to work. They're just not, maybe you can cut it, but then is it going to stick to the garment? There's all this that you need to think about. You need to ruin a few t-shirts first, and then you get there,
And you've recently swapped out, because you screen printer at heart, and you did screen print all of your neck labels onto the garments.
Yeah.
But you've recently switched to using our screen printer transfers versus doing it yourself. Why'd you do that?
Because it's our main press. We need to keep spinning with the big jobs, with the bigger prints, the back prints, the front prints. Standing there using the main press to do 500 nick labels, we don't need to do it.
No.
Not efficient.
That as well, there is an element of, like, we put quality above anything and everything, so even if it took longer, but I was like, no, the quality is definitely still there. Like, we would then have to take the time to do it.
Yeah.
Quality comes first. So we started and we trialed the plastic transfers for the neck labels, and the quality was there. that, you know, we've put through some jobs with like super small letters, and I was like, there's no way we're going to do this. Like, I'm almost taking a mick now, you know, like, I'm like,
You try to break our
I'm
system first.
waiting for your printer to ring me up and be like, right, this is not happening. But no, they come through, and again, when you're applying properly, like even the last month or two where we've really gone like, that's the decision made, that's what we're doing, and we're pushing all the labels through, we're still learning, you know, we're still learning like the best like sort of like peel off temperatures and things like that. So yeah, it was, I was testing Saturday, I was testing most of the afternoon. I probably went through a whole sheet of neck labels, just playing with time and temperature, like upping it by a second and then testing it again, upping it by, just to see what would happen, just to see if there's anything where I'm like missing, you know. And that's what I done. I just took a t-shirt and just put a million labels all the way down. It just kept pulling it off a bit, done another one, done that, and now I feel we've really dialed them in.
Did you change because you've got the new 360 hat press as well, which has the heated lower pattern? Did you change the temperature of both when you were testing?
Yeah.
To see which one, what works better, having a heated, more heat coming through the bottom than the top, or?
So we run the bottom. I'm still quite new to the machine, but we run that I think like 70 or 80. So I don't know whether that's max. I think it maxes like 160.
Yeah, about 160 to 180 is up.
Yeah, max. Yeah, so we're running that at about 70 or 80, and then the top 160. But for us, it's playing with the pressure that you press as well is a massive factor from what I can see, and then time as well.
I think a lot of people underestimate pressure for application. They think, as long as you put the heat on it for the time and it's stuck down, it'll be fine. But
no, you've got to play with the pressure. It's getting to a point where I like to see the weave of the garment in the print. That's what we were trying to get to with two presses. So like a pre-press, like your heat press, and then transfer on press. Yeah. And then we leave that to cold peel, and then when we peel that, I want to be able to see the fabric of the thing through.
So it looks like it's actually part of it.
It looks like it's in the garment, it's solid. Wash tested that shirt. To be fair, I wash tested the shirt that we've done a million things on, not one of them cut off. So we're really picky, but I like it. And now we've got the guy. You know, I've got the guy there who can stand there, and he's literally there all day just putting labels in, because I said everything we do has to have labels in
for your customers to know your branding.
Yeah. So we put all their labels in for them. It's all part. Obviously, it's all part of like the package that we're doing. It's what they come to us for. So yeah, literally every garment that we've done a scribbling on the back, peg, whatever, then goes over and has to be labelled, folded and bagged.
That's it. Again, it's a bit like picking the slightly more expensive garment, which might only be 50p to £1 per item. It's a bit adding a neck label, a customized neck label, again adds a much and that premium look to it. So when you pull something off the shelf, like that could be, it's retail. Which it's even higher than that sometimes, because you've taken that every little detail. But neck labels cost like 20p at most.
When you get them on the sheet.
Exactly.
We are literally like a blade's width between them, like into the guys. Like, you need to start spacing these out. I'm like, okay. So it's good. It's definitely for us. Speeding up production. There's a million ways to put neck labels in. You know, we was looking down the route of like the wrapping tags and still screen printing them in. But then like we keep hitting the stumbling blocks of like, then we've still got washout screens. We've still got, we still need a guy standing there doing that, etc. So for us, it was the cleanest, quickest, and sort of like, I say cost effective, because we could just screen print them ourselves, but time and the quality is there. Yeah, it really is, and we can hold that super fine detail, and you can get them perfect every time. I feel you can get them perfect every time. As soon as you put them onto the hat presses, which is what we use, you get them in the middle every time. Easy.
I was going to say, you find placement easy enough than that.
Yeah, no sweat.
Would you normally just think, I've seen you using shirts with terrible labels on them when you do this?
So The stuff we use is just normally got just a little size tag in the neck, so there's no branding on them. So we don't do any labelling. We get ours all the time. We put hand tags, but we don't do any cut sew. Just print. We just print, fold them back, and that's it. Yeah. Not yet got into that.
Obviously, we've spoken to quite a lot of people who are thinking about starting their own brands or have started their own brands or in various stages of it. Is there any advice that you give to people who are thinking about 2020 as their year to start their own clothing brand? Anything you wish someone had told you? 2020, sorry.
Back in time. Oh, advice.
Something you wish someone had told you when you first started?
I mean, I don't know about told me, but my advice is quality over everything. And that is it. And ultimately, listen to your printer. You know, if they say, things can't be done, this, that, the other, maybe listen to them. But definitely quality of the garment over and above absolutely everything. So down to how you package it. We've got all the packaging that we're doing, like screen printed poly bags, like Ziploc bags, like all of that has to be branded. You've got to go to them levels. I feel.
When it comes to garments, is there anything you look for when you're picking out garments that you're going to be happy to print on? Is there anything that kind of a telltale sign, stitching, thickness of the hoodie, etc.?
Yeah, so we like the soft feel stuff, like the tight sort of things, like the ring spun cotton stuff. Nice weight. Most things, most t-shirts we're using are sort of probably over 200 GSM, and they just provide that super smooth substrate to print on. You can print others for slightly cheaper stuff, the workwear stuff, but the ink sort of just falls into the weave, and you always just get a rough texture. So I suppose it's probably the same with the transfers. I believe the transfers will definitely stick better to the slightly higher end stuff. It's got to.
Do you think it's important for people to try the cheaper garments and print on them to see why it goes wrong? Because sort of rather than trying a high quality one and going, oh yeah, that looks okay, but do you think people need to fuse it, touch it, feel it, see the difference to really understand and explain to their customers why they choose a higher quality one?
Yes, I mean, if you wanted to take it that far, we don't necessarily do that, but we sort of explain to them this is there will be differences, and to the point where we won't print that. It's kind of like a flat out, okay, well if that's what you want, sorry, that's not sort of what we're doing. We're not priced to do that. And then a lot of them respect, because we've said that is what it is. It must be correct. So it's like they kind of then go, okay, we'll listen to you. You seem to know what you're talking about. But I guess if you're starting up and you sort of haven't got that knowledge or that weight behind you, I mean, give them a go. I mean, we went through, starting out, I went through a stage of, I think most people do. I think eventually you've bought every garment from Rallois or wherever. You go through and you try the Gildan, you try the Premium, you try this, you try the Stanley Stellars, and just figure out what works for you.
The thing with Rallois is you can order one item. So if you are thinking about trying it, it's not, you're not going to order 100 or order by bulk just to try and break it a little bit.
No. So it's. I definitely done that. I definitely spent a lot of money over the years on when they bring new garments out, we buy them. We have a look, we test them, we wear them. You got it. That's sort of like your market research. I constantly feel like we're in R&D, research and development. We're just constantly trying stuff. I've definitely constantly got ideas on the go of what we're going to do next. So.
And we saw you at the last weekend do as a promotion, but is there anything you saw that turned your head at the show this year?
Is New Heat Press?
Well, I did nearly buy your dual wear fusion interest, didn't I? So that's nice. But no, it was a lot of like the DTF stuff and the transfer stuff, which is, to me, it did open my eyes. So I'm a screen printer through and through, and it kind of taught me to not be a caveman and be stuck screen printing, because there is some crazy stuff with the transfers and like the DTF things you're doing, to the point where we even come back and we sort of had a little team talk back at the shop of like, you know, could we be utilising this? You know, could we lower the MOQs and offer, you know, if customers want it, could we offer that? You know, could we offer some of these transfer things if they're coming to us with, you know, full photographs and a lot of stuff that we would probably turn away screen printing. You know, if we start now sort of re-looking at them emails going, could we offer this as like the ultra colour or something like that? You know, could we do something like that? So we'll see. I believe the quality's there, but for me, I've really just got to explain to the customer, like, this isn't screen print. You know, like I part of me feels like everything's still trying to sort of like they still base off screen print. Everything is still like, so you do a transfer and it's like, oh, you know, it's most like screen print, etc. So it's like screen print is still there. Yeah. But then there are limitations to it. You know, there just for us, you know, the MOQ. You're coming to us with an 8 colour, oh, I want an 8 colour, I want this. You know, unless you're ordering 50, 75 garments, there's not a lot we're going to do. We're not going to set up the 8 colours and do all that. So is there a way, you know, as long as we explain to them that this isn't sort of like screen print sort of thing, but we could do the lower quantity stuff in this other media. Yeah.
I think if you introduce ultra colour as well, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're saying goodbye to screen print or letting go of that side of your business.
We could never say
your core values.
Yeah, we could never say goodbye to screen print completely. I don't think we ever will. We're still going to grow the screen print side. It's just picking up them emails that I've always slipped through and being able to help them customers. I've tried the ultra colour stuff. The quality is very good. You know, like it is good when you get past the point of like, actually, yeah, it's not screen print, but like this does have a place in the market, a very, very strong foot in the market of what we're doing. And it's, I think, part of me and just Squeezed Orange in the shop is not being stuck in with screen printers, you know, this is it, because I feel like the industry will run away with you. You know, it will overtake you if you're not careful. That's what I'm sort of worried about is we had DTG machines at one point, and we thought, you know, DTG is the way to go, this, that, the other. This is new. It to the point where it was like going to take over screen print with DTG shops, and we was doing a lot of DTG. Long story short, that bashing DTG too much, like we sold all that equipment 2 years ago. It wasn't for us. Yeah. It just, for many, many reasons, come down to ultimately quality. It wasn't screen print. It just wasn't good enough for what we wanted. Yeah. It's very good, not knocking it, but it just didn't have that. And we got it from the customers of like, this isn't like the screen print stuff you got on your Instagram again. So it's constantly biting us, and constantly coming around to bite us of like, we're doing this screen print work, but we can't do an 8 cut. Yeah, we're doing DTG, and they're like, oh, it's not quite vibrant as I thought. And you're getting this, it was still very acceptable, the customer liked it, but I was just getting this nagging feedback, and it was like the knife going in of like, oh, they don't like the work, you know, like, oh, it should have been better, and that's what hurts me. So we were like, we can't, ultimately, like one day I was like, I can't keep doing it. You know, my reputation is more to me than I would sooner say no to the 12 colour jobs or the 12 piece jobs and explain like, look, DTG for us isn't the one. We can't. It's just not the screen print. Yeah. Anyway, ultra colour and these other DTF things come along, and you start looking, going, well, actually, like the quality is there, the vibrancy is there. It does press nice. It does sit on the garment nice, especially the garments we've tested. But again, we're not new. I haven't tried it on a lower end blank. You know, I'll put it on the blanks that we're using. We've actually run 2 or 3 jobs with it, and explain to the customer, you know, it's not screen print. We're going to use the transfers, like, because they've got like 14 colour fades. It was either that or politely decline the job because we can't screen print it. So it's like, look, we can do this, but it will be in this method. Da 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 da. They got it, and honestly, the feedback we got was over the moon. Like, they and this isn't even like, when we've been paid to say this, but like, this is an honest job that come through that we are trialing it on jobs. The feedback is the customers are happy.
They couldn't tell the difference, really.
Yeah, they don't know, do they? They don't know, but we're still going to be honest. We're still going to be honest with them and tell them, like, look, you're not going to see me impress screen printing this. It's not going
do you reckon if you hadn't told them that it wasn't screen print, they would have clocked? You'd have just sent the full colour transfers out?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they would have known.
Yeah.
I don't. It's sort of like questioning people's knowledge, isn't it? I don't know. It's like pretending everyone's dumb, but we would never do. We would never ever do that anyway. We will always be honest with the customer. That's just part of it. We'll always say, look, and a lot of the times they hopefully we've got a little bit of reputation that they will go like, okay, Squeeze Orange said it's all right. It's probably all right.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if we've done it and it didn't look good, then we'd just be back to square one and we wouldn't use it.
It's building that relationship and reputation, like you said, isn't it? People trust what you say, rather than just, like say, going to a bigger print shop and being a bit 50-50 on how it's going to come out.
Yeah.
I think customers in general have a much better understanding of how products are made now as well. Just the general customer, they can, when they pick up a t-shirt, they can, okay, I can see the stitching, I can feel the GSM on this. They know what's quality, so again, always going back to authenticity. So just being upfront about it. Again, it just gives you a level of respect with them that way.
Well, your customers will know now how you do everything because you've said it all on the podcast.
There's one thing I can tell you to the blue in the face, like what we're using. I can tell you all the inks we're using. You can see the presses we're using, the embroidery machines. You're welcome to come in the shop and have a go.
Yeah.
It's all I say. Like, if you want to come print your own job.
I would like to have a go on screen print machine because I haven't before.
So we do a little bit of live screen print. We go to events and festivals and things like that. We take a little press and we work with some of sort of our bigger customers and clients and people we work closely with. Set up a little press and let people have a go. And I've yet to meet anyone that just jumps on it and just pulls the perfect print.
Oh, pressure. Okay.
And that's it. What the thing they don't realise is the actual downward pressure you're putting on the squeegee. The physical.
They go too light. They don't push it hard enough.
They go so light. They just sort of feather over it and go, oh my god, no ink went through. And they're like, wow, you're actually pushing. You're like, you're pushing the ink through the mesh. And then they're like, wow, then they're like, oh, I've seen this on your Instagram. Oh, you make it look so easy. As kind of
like,
do but it's definitely a skill, definitely a trade, definitely to the point where it could borderline should be considered a trade. Printing should be.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Everyone that we have employed in our factory here is always it is a trade. It's you've got to understand. You want to be able to look at a bottle of ink or a bucket of ink and be like, I know what that's made of, I know what colour that is, I know where that powder's come from. You've got to really have that intuitive knowledge or build towards an intuitive knowledge and want to do that. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you 1,000,000%, and that just comes down to the 10,000 hours. And I'm only seeing it now when I bring my dad and he's just putting shirts on the press to put labels in and things like that. And he's like, how are you threading them on the machine? We're there just throwing them on. I'm like, the muscle memory will get there, and that comes down to sort of in my ear. When an embroidery machine's a little bit, you can hear. Me and Steve will look at each other and be like, "What was that?" And it's you can hear it, you just know, and it's sad, and you can feel garments. We've had sort of people come out to us at shows and talk to us and oh, can you get these teas? And you sort of feel them. You're like, oh wait, that's so and so, and they're like, how do you know? It's well,
I've dealt with enough.
When you stand there picking them up, putting them on a press all day, every day, you do just get that feel. You get the feel for the inks, you get the feel for the screens. The same thing, you get the feel for the transfers. You do become better, but you just have to keep pressing all the buttons on the machine and just keep working. I know you've got some fantastic stuff on your website and your jobs come, and I always look at the sheet that you send, like the instructions of how to press it, and we're like, yeah, right, we'll see. We literally say that every time. I'm like, yeah, just don't worry about that. We've worked this one out. Yeah, no. But,
you can do all our instructions moving forward.
Yeah. So, it's just.
I think everyone after everyone's going to hear about a month, become that person who walks into a shop and picks up a t-shirt. Something like that. What's that?
I did it at the weekend, and my friend just looked at me and was like, "Really?"
Yeah. The worst and the best ones are when customers will sort of email, "Oh, that stuff done in another shop." "Oh yeah, great," and they sort of want to switch over or whatever. So I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll send you a hoodie over." Like they send us the sample, or they come and meet us and they show us the sample, and you're a bit like, how did that leave the shop? It's not a knock to anyone else. It's just, sometimes it happens, and you just some
people's quality is different as well, isn't it? It depends what your priority is for your business.
Comes down to the quality quantity situation. On the same terms, I don't think we have yet, but there'd become a time where I know where we are. We're a manual screen print shop. We've got 3 embroidery machines now, so we can do a fair bit. We can do hundreds of units, but there would be a thing of if someone comes like, "I need 10,000 pieces," I would be honest and be like, "Yeah, we can do it, but you've got to wait 6 months because we are generally booked 4 weeks out anyway." Or you may be better off with a bigger shop, that can handle that. I can't lie, that's it, and my arms would probably fall off trying to print that. But
Are you hoping to get to that point where you were talking about maybe moving into a bigger space at some point in the future, and what's the plan moving forwards?
So definitely. So we're just on continual growth. Everything I do just goes back in, so like I say, new embroidery machine coming in. Look at this. New heat press stuff is in talks and probably on the way very soon. Constant growth. Next thing will be the unit. When we can upgrade the unit, then it will be next step. Then we will start to automate. I'd love to automate the screen print press. That would be the goal. And then the challenge will be finding operators with the same eye and bringing people in to run it, etc. But that's I say the 5-year plan. I'd like it to happen this year. We're pushing for it now if that can happen this year, but there's a little bit of luck, a little bit of thing that comes involved because the right unit needs to come up, for the right price. I can't make these things happen, but we can get to a position where we're ready, and I feel like we're ready to make that leap. We've definitely got the work, thankfully. We're constantly booked up 3-4 weeks as standard. Yeah. We have been for the last year, 2 years. So there's a constant stream of work coming in. Customers are happy with that because they know that they get, if they try and rush us, it's just I'm never happy with a rush job, so we don't rush them. So it's like, no. If you want our services, fortunately, guys, you've got to be on our time scale. But when it delivers, luckily I get that phone call of it's here, amazing, it's folding them back, top job, and that's ultimately what you get for playing to our book, basically.
But then that comes down to what you were saying about picking and choosing your jobs. You get to pick who you work with, and if you gel with them as a customer in a print shop. Unfortunately, we don't make a habit of it. But I did cancel a job waiting for customers listed. I'm sorry, but we did cancel a job last week. It just doesn't work. There seems to be communication breakdown. It's like we've got MIQs at 12 for doing this, and then it's we're going backwards and forwards, and it's sort of just all got a bit of a. I feel like I'm talking about one thing. I feel like I'm talking about, and it's a bit
it sort of ended with like, yeah, I'm really sorry, like, we can't actually do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, where did that come from? So yeah, and we have been known to pull the plug politely and say, look, like, we can't do this. You know, this isn't what we thought it was when we started. You know, the parameters of this job have now changed.
Then surely they'd rather you do that than produce a job that's under quality that neither of you are going to be happy with.
I think that, I mean, I can't comment. I'm pretty sure it's a bit nifty. He's lost a print shop, but what can we do? You know, I don't like doing it. I don't like letting people down, but unfortunately, like, it just doesn't work. You know, and then we're not about to lose money on jobs, and you can't. So then it becomes like the cutthroat business model of like, sorry, like it's all changed. So but that being said, I mean, starting out, if people are listening and they're starting out and they're listening to me going, yeah, cut jobs and do this and do that. You can't. You know, when you're starting out, if you are brand new into the prints, I said yes to everything, and I failed 50% of it. I'm not gonna lie, like, we failed every other job. You know, probably didn't make money for a year, 2 years. I know that sounds silly because some jobs you make money, others you do, they're not right. You have to replace them. You know, don't argue it. Customer's not happy. Just rerun the job, run it back, do it again. You know, maybe don't take an order that's 500 pieces. That if you do have to rerun it, it's going to put you under. Just slow and steady wins the race. But yeah, if you're starting out, I do encourage you to say yes to absolutely everything. That's the only way, or for me anyway, I might be a bit of a risk taker. I definitely was when I was younger. Is I'll say yes and figure it out after. And it was that approach that I had. Like, yeah, I could do that. And then it's like, shit, how do I do that? You know, like YouTube, Google, bring people up, bring you up, bring other print shops up, and figure it out and try and get it done. And then ultimately get it done, get it delivered, and then like you've learned a new skill, there you go. And then just do that for forever. Like, we're still doing it now. You know, like, it actually doesn't stop. But you start to build your rule book of like, we say yes to these ones are easy, this is that, and it kind of all comes in. So then like down the line you go, oh wait, we now specialise in this. And you know, people come to you, they come to you for the high builds, they come to us for the puff prints, they come to us for these things, and that's the opening line in their email. Hi, we've been sent to you by so-and-so for this. And you're like, oh yeah, like we've carved out like our niche. What you're best at. And it's what you're good at, what you enjoy doing is obviously probably what you're going to be better at because you're going to put more into it. But yeah, starting out, I spent every day, every Saturday, every Sunday for years. And I'm not just saying this, it was 5, 6, 7 years of just every single weekend trying things. Yeah. With that being vinyl, with it being like the highball stuff, the screen print stuff, embroidery, it was just like, right, I'm going to buy a box of tees for this weekend because I'm going to try this. Yeah. Ruin every single one of them, get a few, learn. As long as you're learning, you're not going backwards. And that was really it. There was no, I mean, sorry, you guys have master classes or whatever, but like, I didn't go on any classes. I didn't go and get
a
reading screen print. That's the thing. No, so there wasn't any.
And that's, to be honest with you, I mean, we do masterclasses here, but the number one advice we give to people here is go home and try it now. Try and break it, but accelerate your mistakes, because that's how you're going to succeed. And that's that. I mean, most of the classes we have here are pretty simple. I mean, heat presses are not difficult to use. They're up, they go down. Yeah. You follow the recipes, then you'll be all right. But yeah, you've got to try stuff.
I think a lot of people like to come in and see the presses before they buy them. They like to try transfers, like have people explain how they work, and that side of it.
Just get over the initial
but the trial and error
dauntingness of like, wow, I just had this heat press delivered. It looks like an alien.
What the hell?
What are we doing? Yeah.
But I think the trial and error process becomes when you get your heat press home, when you start to fuse and do things wrong.
It's the same as driving a car. You know, you learn to pass your test and then you learn to drive. It's the same. You know, you learn to turn the heat press on, you learn the fundamentals, but ultimately, I consider like printing like science. You know, there's what 3, 4 variables, pillars: time, temperature, pressure, and pressure. There you go. Like that's for your heat pressing. Fairly similar to screen print. You know, you've got your flash times, you've got your cure times, you've got your bleeds and your chokes on your oven. You know, you've got all of that stuff, but you work it out. Yeah. You slowly work it out. You dial it in, you dial it in, you dial it in until you get somewhat decent at what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like, as long as along the way the customers are happy, you'll be fine, you'll be growing.
Yeah. Any advice you'd give our customers having their parents in the business? Obviously, you mentioned
Well, that's a big one, yeah.
your dad's part of the business. And I know from a lot of people I spoke to last weekend that there's a roping mum or dad are both into the business is a key element of their growth. But what would you say lessons learned there?
No, so I mean, my dad's obviously of it, like, fortunately my family are close. You know, it's I literally wouldn't be without them, obviously. You know, it's just like it's throughout the whole sort of jet ski thing, that was obviously like fundamentally, you know, my dad. You know, at 14 I weren't really doing too much. I've been riding jet skis, so it's come round. And then it always helped out with the clothing brands. You know, at one point we were going to festivals nearly every weekend with a mobile store and trading and selling the clothes and stuff at big, sort of big events. And he was always there helping out, unpaid at this point, just like there, fully supportive. So now, he's retired and probably got a bit bored sitting at home because he's a bit like me. It's like, has to be doing something.
Yeah.
So I needed someone quick, I sort of like, he's been around the print shop, he's constantly opening that. So I was like, look, you need, like, come in, like, you know what, you've seen us do it a million times, you know what we're doing. So a little bit of training, a little bit of just watching over, and he can press a label for us and do other bits and weave on and stuff. So it's great. Now he's like sort of a fully fledged staff member, which is great because I'm no his boss. So, that's it. No, it's great. It is great, and ultimately a big help.
Yeah,
it's good. Like, communication's absolutely fine. If you can't communicate with your own dad, then don't worry about hiring anyone because it's not going to be much better than them, is it? So it's that. And then Steve, so I say like my embroidery guy, sort of like the number 2 or whatever. He is sort of my first friend, like childhood friend. He used to live next door, etc. Like, really is like childhood friend. So he come in, fine, absolutely amazing. So far so good. We really are like a homegrown print shop. But we're all like, even Steve was there at the weekend and that, we're all nuts about it. He loves to sticker things because on the side in his own little print shop, he's got like the big sticker printer machines. So he does all of that side as well. Like he sort of is into it, but he doesn't sort of screen print outside of sort of squeezed orange. So even in his spare time, he's doing stuff, constantly WhatsApping, like, how do I do this with that? We're constantly just, just print.
Okay.
Good.
And if anyone wants to get in contact with you, find your work, what's the best way to reach you?
Instagram, I suppose. Just at Squeezed Orange, that's the shop. I'm Darren_Squeezed Orange. If you want to reach me personally, they're basically both business accounts. You'll see that I just post work stuff. But I'm active. If anyone did have a question,
brilliant,
I will try and answer.
Okay. Well, we thank you very much for joining us today. I'm sure this might be the last time you come join us today, because as we discussed before we went live, there we've got lots of things to discuss about how to make content. You do some great video. Anyone who's not following Darren, I'd encourage you to do that because he's got some really great videos. I think everyone finds really satisfying to watch, and gives you a little bit of insight into behind the scenes as well. So definitely give him a follow, get in contact if you've got questions or you're thinking about starting a brand. It's a great resource. And Beats also got his own brand as well. So something you can see, if anyone's watching on YouTube, you can see that there's a really nice idea that Darren's sporting today. So you can get that from squeezedorange.com as well, can't you?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There we go. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for Molly for joining us today as well.
No, thank you.
Anything we can help you with, just head on to targettransfers.com, and we always welcome any of your questions. We do have lots of events coming up in the next couple of months, so head to targettransfers.com/events. If you're thinking about starting a t-shirt business, looking for a sort of one-to-one growth clinic, or if you'd like to know more about our Optical Max direct film heat transfers.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
We've got the screen printer using screen print transfers.
Do you know what? This is all different. Are they screen print transfers, are they?
These are, yeah.
It's all set, is it? Pressure?
Should be.
Yeah, it's a bit lower.
A little bit more pressure on that. What's that going to go now? 15, is it?
To 10 it should
10?
be. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's a new method.
You ever done that?
No.
What, find the centre of design? As long as it's centre on the sheet, but it will be because you've obviously made it. Quickest way is just put a little nick in it there.
Oh, I made it, so I wouldn't guarantee it's.
Oh.
I wouldn't guarantee
Well,
it's centre.
when it's warm, you in it. Yeah, so just put that. Oh, you've not cut the top edge straight, have you? You can't line that.
No.
We line at the bottom.
Trying to make it hard for you.
Yeah, that's fine. There you go. Do you ever just hang them off like that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing. We normally just throw it on it.
Throw like put that off on
Yeah.
the pallet.
On the plan.
Pallet.
There you go.
Oh, of course I did.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Good job.